Hello and welcome. This is Chris-Ann. I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chris-Ann. Still fighting the pneumonia a little bit. I don't feel bad, but my voice is iffy. So just bear with me. But today I've been dying to make this ornament. So I was watching Ann. She does some amazing videos on YouTube. And she made this adorable ornament using playing cards and some holiday napkins. So I thought, you know what? I want to make that. So I found these napkins in my stash / waiting for the holidays. I'm going to use them for the holidays, but everybody gets one. The rest I kind of want to keep for my crafting. You know, we do that. We buy the napkins, or we get the napkins thinking, oh, isn't that pretty? I'd love to use it for my my artwork. You know, I don't think I brought any tape in here. Normally there's a trick that you can do to get all the layers off with tape. But a lot of times there's 3. Yeah, I got it. There's 3 layers. So we're going to remove these. And you're going to see we're going to use this as well as this. This one we'll use for something else. I'm going to cut this down to a more manageable piece. So I have my playing cards. I have a few of them here. I think I'm going to use that one and that one. I'm going to put these right here. Grab my scissors. I'm going to cut this down to a more sort of manageable size. Now, you can do this with any designs, napkins that you want, since I'm making an ornament for Christmas or whatever holiday it is you celebrate. This is the pattern that I chose, that I wanted. / it's what I had in my stash. So what we are going to do is we are going to decoupage-ish this using, I'm going to use my my glue stick. And you know, I kind of like that right there. So I'm going to cut this down. You know what I didn't grab? And I have to see if I have it here. Might not have it here. I just saw it. Hold on, let me look for it. My my sanding block. Let me move my drum. Let me move these things, because I just saw my sanding block. I'm going to need that. You know, I'm mostly prepared. Oh, is that it? Oh, that's not it. You know, I have everything piled up on my desk. I know it's here. There it is. I see it. Let me grab it. Without knocking everything over, which is going to be easier said than done. Okay. Well, that was a workout and a half. Is it like that on your desk too? Okay, let's move that over there. Oh. And I just have my Scotch permanent glue stick. I was watching, and I can't remember her name. I didn't write that down either. She was doing a glue review, recent YouTube video of a glue review. Very, very, very informative. Very, very, very well done. But I was laughing. I was talking to my mother at the same time. as I was watching it. I'm like, it's like watching paint dry, but glue. And she did a really good way of reviewing all the glues. And she was looking to see, did it buckle the paper? She was using copy weight paper. Did it buckle the paper? Did it actually hold? You know, those sort of pertinent questions. And art glitter glue was out on the first round because it buckled the paper. Two that she liked the best was an Avery glue stick. Oh, she liked three. Avery glue stick, Aleene's Original Tacky Glue, and Barely Arts glue. I used to use Barely Arts glue. And the reason I stopped is because I had a bottle that molded. And I didn't buy it. I haven't bought it ever since. So I'm just sanding this off with my sanding block. And I had left it, you know, here at my desk. I have a whole bunch of glues here. I just tend to use, these two are the ones I use. I mean, I do use Aleene's, don't get me wrong. But those were her favorites. And I thought, okay. It was a really good video. But it was like watching paint dry. You know, watching the glue dry. And she did something like 17 different glues or something like that. Very, 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 very well done video. This one, we're going to take this white, one of those 3 layers. This isn't going to cut straight. It's all crickled up on me. So I got a story for you today. Oh my goodness, I have had such a long day. That's why this video is getting published late. So I live in Maine, obviously. I talk about it all the time. Love living in Maine. Love it. So keep that in mind. We have a power company here called CMP, Central Maine Power. They have not had a great reputation the last couple of years because they're trying to, well, it's been claimed that they're trying to buy elections because they want to develop or put power lines on protected lands, that type of stuff. It's a thing. But we don't have a choice. That is our power choice. There is no options. There's one choice, CMP. That's it. So they don't really have the best reputation. And I'm not here to say yay or nay on that. That's not what this is about. But I called them up because I'm on automatic pay. And the guy that answered, you know, you could tell he was a younger guy. And I said, listen, I need you to take me off auto pay. I can no longer afford it. I said, please look at my account. Something is very wrong. And I could tell the moment he pulled up my account because he kind of said out loud, oh my God. I said, yeah, I'm being charged $651 a month for my electricity. I said, I can no longer afford it. Take me off auto pay. I'll still pay, but you know, you get it when I can afford it, kind of thing, which I said nicely. And he said, something is very wrong with your account. I said, I know it is. I said, I live in a small house, just the two of us here. I said, I keep my house at 61 for the heat because who can afford all this? I mean, allergy-friendly food is so expensive, incredibly expensive. And my power bill. So this is going to be the house. This is going to be the roof of the house. And I'm going to turn it this way because I want a little bit of an overhang. I want to, actually, let me draw on this first. So I'm doing mine a little bit differently than Anne did hers. I don't know where my pencil went. Let me see. So anyways, I said to the guy, my bill is out of control. I'm just going to use a pen. I don't know where my pencil went. He says, I can see that. He says, something is not right here. I'm actually going to measure. So let's, how do we want to do this? 9, 4. Trying to find the middle. Is that the middle? We're going to call that the middle. Okay, so I said something is very wrong with my account. And he said, I need to get my supervisor involved. I said, please do. And he kept coming back every few minutes. He's like, I'm sorry, it's taking a while. Thanks for your patience. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're helping me. So he finally came back. And he said, we have been grossly overcharging you. I wanted to say, you think? But I was polite. So he says, I spoke to my supervisor. We've overcharged you by almost $3,000. Oh my gosh. Like, that's a lot of money. Do you know the craft supplies I could buy with that? So I said to him, okay, when can I expect the check in the mail? Because I paid that in good faith. He says, unfortunately, we can't do that, but I can credit your account. And then he told me what my bill's going to be going forward. And I said, so you're telling me, oops, it goes this way. I want it this way. I said, so you're telling me I'm going to have free power for at least the next year based on what my bill is actually going to be? And he said, yes, that is what I'm telling you. I'm like, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. I was in a state of shock. I'm really upset that they're not sending me a check, frankly. But to have the peace of mind to know that I don't have to worry about that bill, because $651 for the last quite a few months has been a thing. And you know, I expect it in that month, and sometimes they take it out the month before, so they charge me twice in 1 month. And let me tell you, it has overdrafted my account before. And, you know, I get to the bank in time and put the money in, but that's not the point. It has really been a thing for me, like a source of worry and anxiety. So the man said, "I'm so sorry. I'm sure this has been very stressful for you." I said, "You have no idea. I want this as a chimney." And I said, "And furthermore, I want it put on my account that if the power goes out, my son is on chemo and it needs to be refrigerated. Should I do the chimney this way or this way?" I think we'll do it this way, but it's not straight per usual. So they did. They noted that on my account, which I was grateful for. So, whew, I mean, I was on the phone for like an hour. But I am so glad that got resolved. Now, I want to do some windows. And I put my pen aside. Where'd it go? Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, it fell. So I have my pastas. Let me grab a piece of paper. So now I don't have to worry about my electric bill. Actually, let me glue this first. I don't have to worry about my electric bill for a little bit. Oh, let's do some of this. So I'm extremely relieved for that. And I had to go pick up my mom because we were running an errand together. And I said, hold on, I'm hearing something. All right. I said, we're going to go buy a lottery ticket. We did. And I said to the man, because I don't buy a ton of lottery tickets, I don't really know. I said, okay, I'm buying this one, and this one. What did I miss? I said, I want to buy them all. He says, you missed Lucky for Life. He said, give me it. I want that one. So I got home. I told my son, well, when my son got home from work, I told him. And he's like, wow. I said, I know. So now I can get myself a couple extra art supplies. You know, that's what it's all about. I wipe off the excess on the edges with my grungy cloth. I want to do a little trim on this one. And I have this trim, which I thought would be cute. Let me do that. So I bought my lottery tickets. I probably won't tell people if I won. But you know, I'm sure you've seen those videos. But there'll be signs. If I all of a sudden have like every Tim Holtz rubber stamp, you know, just keep my secret for me. I'm hopeful. I was so happy. That bill has really been a burden to me. And, you know, I called my mom and I was telling her, and she's like, if they're doing that to you, what about like little old people that maybe aren't able to scrutinize their bill or something? You know, for me, it wasn't about scrutinizing my bill. It was simply, it was so astronomical. And I don't live in a tiny house. I live in a small house. You know, there's like the whole tiny house movement. I don't live in one of those, but I do have a small house. So I'm going to do some windows. And these aren't straight either. But I'm so grateful. This guy said to me, is there anything else I can help you with? I'm like, yeah. I hope you have a wonderful holidays. He's like, I'm so glad I could help you. So you made my day. And I told my son that I said that to him. And my son's like, he made your year. And I said, yeah, that's true. You know, I budget for my son and I to go out to eat. Our restaurants that we like are not cheap because it's allergy-friendly food. And I budget for that. And I'm happy to budget for that. You know, you have to budget, period. No matter what it is you're budgeting for. And then I have some stickers. And I wanted to see, oh, that's cute. I have some bigger ones too. So these are a little bit more vintage looking. It's stuck together. Let me throw those out. That's too big. Yeah, no, that's too big. Let me go back to the other ones. And let's add some glue. So I have had the day. Took my mother on some errands. And she treated for poke bowls. I love poke bowls. Oh, do I love poke bowls. That is so adorable. And then we're going to poke a hole in the top. Where's the one I want? Oh. Let's see. I have all my different ones here. Oh, that's just a regular one. Let's use that. Then I have a piece of this. And then I have this one. But I thought we could use that one. And I'm going to leave that on the back because I think it's adorable. I debated doing an eyelet. And I'm like, you know, I'm just going to leave it because it's very cute. Just the way it is. little bit of a bow on it. And I'm going to put a dot of glue on the bow. It dries clear. How cute is that? I just thought that was such an adorable little ornament. So that is our project for today. There's so many different variations on this that you can do. I think I'm going to stop here. Just do a short, quick little video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for listening to my story. Fingers crossed about the lottery. Oh my gosh, there's so many people I can help. So many people that need help, to be honest. So I would do a lot of good with it. And I would get another shop again. I think that would be so much fun. I would love that. So, fingers crossed. Manifest. Help me manifest. Thank you all for tuning in. Please check out my website, www.elementalenерgieswithchrisanne.com. Like and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Be free.